Oh boy, here we are again. Oh, I am live. There's no one here yet, so I will wait for folks to get in. If anybody comes to this one. If you're watching this in the future, hi. Thanks for watching. uh, oh, hi, Alex. Hi. How nice to see you here. Wow. I'm very proud of myself. I learned how to actually get the OBS to capture the game itself and not just screen cap my desktop. So now everyone won't be like mildly stretched. I'm glad that nobody acknowledged it, but everyone's faces were stretched before. Now they won't be. It's great. I'll give anyone else who wants to come in a minute. Can you punch the Pikachu behind you? I can do that, sure. I don't want to hit him too hard. Is that good? Is that good enough? Is that sufficient? Or did you want me to punch him harder? He's wearing one of Sparta's collars. It's his bow tie one he wears when he's getting fancy. I leave it on the Pikachu when he's not wearing it. And then Kermit is actually wearing my graduation bow tie. Wouldn't you know it? It matches the toque. It's an N64, or sorry, not N64. It's an NES controller. And I did wear that to my graduation. Oh, goodness gracious me, oh my. Oh, did you post a link to it in the GB Patch server, or should I do that? Because I should probably let them know that I'm streaming. Probably a good idea. Maybe a good idea. You can do it. Okay, I'll do it. Alright. I get you. Da 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 da. Let's go over. Oh my goodness. That's on the wrong layer. Who is that? 1 second. Hold on, let me see. Oh goodness, who was that? I didn't see it. I'm, I thought I was prepared. I was not prepared. Hello, Legend EX Games. Oh my gosh, hi. It's nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just need to send this one thing off and then we can get started. Oh god, where did I put that server? My Discord is a hot mess. Oh, it's because Alex, you changed the icon, didn't you? Oh jeez. Okay, let's see. Where should I, Alex, where do you want me to post a link to it? Because I don't want to post it somewhere wrong. Which channel should I post it in? But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we're going to be playing some Our Life. It was a game that I did a voice for. But we've been playing it on stream the last little time. So, gonna play some more today. Maybe play something else later. I don't know. We'll have to see. I love me a visual novel stream. Heck yeah. I get to do all the voices myself. It's pretty good. I like to think so anyways. Alright. If anyone wants to come and chill, I'm streaming Our Life right now. And paste. There we go. Okay. Who do I voice? I voice Jeremy King. He is a lovely little gremlin of a lad. He's pretty mean. I love him a lot. He's actually he's a cameo from one of GB Patch's older games, XOXO Droplets. He was pretty popular, so they asked me to come and do the voice for him again, which was a lot of fun. Lovely. He is. He's lovely in his own way. You know, he's doing his best. All right, let's see here. Okay, into the game. So last time on the stream, we did meet Jeremy for the first time, and it was great because I got to see that GB Patch used all of my most aggressive takes with Jeremy, which was fantastic. So I'll just get this up over here so that I can still see the chat. Lovely. Okay. Now, let us continue. Right, okay, so we had just gotten to the main part of the second part. Ooh, I haven't done any of these yet. I want to see Escapade, because that sounds like trouble. Let's see. You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You had been trying to delay the end of the day for as long as possible. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat on your front porch, munching on fresh watermelon slices. The snack made you happy, you thought watermelon was just okay. You're eating it because watermelon was a summer tradition, or you weren't even sure why you were eating it. Oh man, I used to hate watermelon when I was a kid for some reason, but it's fine. It's really not that bad. I don't know why I hated it so much. You thought watermelon was just okay. You were debating on whether or not you should eat another slice. It was an alright sweet snack, but you were still content from dinner. Ah, there's the boy. Watermelon is fire. What? I know. It totally is. Ah, the ultimate pansexual is now following. You're the ultimate one? Wow. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Oh. Butch the doggo is now following. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Look at all these people. Alright. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. Good to have you all here. The ultimate gay. You're the ultimate one. It's just you. Cove is a cutie, OMG. He is. They made him very cute. They made, you know, if their goal was to make a likable, lovable love interest, they did it. They got it. Cove is great. You turned to look at Cove. You both had been sitting in comfortable silence for a while now. He sat next to you, close enough for your shoulders to touch. He was happily absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Chuckling, you watched as his face twisted in discomfort. He had to stop chewing to spit a seed into the bush. You shook your head in disapproval. How dare you spit them out? Oh yeah, I'm gonna challenge him. I bet I can spit a seed farther than you. Immediately, you shoved the majority of what was left of your watermelon slice into your mouth just to get a seed to prove your point. As soon as you could, you sent that seed sailing into the middle of the street. Did you see that, Cove? Cove burst into laughter that slowed to a wide grin. You could tell he was equal parts surprised and impressed. Back by unpopular demand, you. It's not unpopular. You're cool, Lemon Shark Boy. You were cool last time. Happy to have you here. Cove is a god, and we love him completely. Your name is in the voice list? That's awesome. Oh, I didn't check the voice list. I know Calvin's not the most popular name, so probably not in there, but I can dream. I didn't even name my character Calvin in this. It's Luis, named after one of my OCs. Alright. Can you do that again? I didn't see where it landed. Of course I can. You popped another seed into your mouth and focused on where the last one landed. Setting the seed free, you got it even further this time.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad? You had Cove chuckling again. It was taking a lot of focus to stay looking serious and not to break into laughter yourself. I'd like to see you try. I will. Oh goodness. Don't acknowledge me, just eat your watermelon, boy, SMH. Exactly. Aw, okay, that's good. He sounds cute too. What? He is. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Cove is one cute lad. This game is great, honestly. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm in the game. Like, this game is fantastic, honestly. It's if anyone's in stream who doesn't know about Our Life, just a quick sort of explanation for it. It's like the most customizable visual novel I've ever seen. Like, you set your own tone to how you react to Cove. You set Cove's tone of like how he reacts to things. You pick how he looks, basically. Like, it's honestly fantastic. And I think my favorite part is that the choices you make for the dialogue don't actually affect like what your closeness with Cove is. You get to set that yourself, so you don't have to like pick an answer that you don't like just so that you get the correct points with Cove. Like, you can say whatever you want and shape the story how you like, and I think that's just fantastic, honestly. His mouth is as wavy as his eyebrows. Kelvin is trying to sell me a free game, huh? Hey man, it's a good game. I don't even have incentive to sell it. I'm not sponsored. Although GB Patch did give me a free key for the game and all the DLC, which was super heckin' cool of them. He's played the game 4 times, huh? You think I don't know the game? I'm just making sure in case anyone doesn't. That's really good, though. It's really good. Cove took in a mouthful of watermelon, face grimacing when he had the seed. Then his expression morphed into a focused look, and he sent the seed flying, landing in a similar spot to yours. Wait, you got to do 2. I need another try. He spoke before you could even comment on his non-victory. His determination got you laughing. He quickly sent another, closer to where your second one landed. Seems we're evenly matched. For now.
Yeah.
Yeah. For now. For the next several minutes, you both kept carving seeds from your slices and giggling at the ridiculousness of the competition. Eventually, a truce was called, and you both went back to eating the neglected watermelon flesh. I wonder if I'll have another slice after this one. That one is your 3rd already. Is that bad? It tastes really good. Wow, look at him flexing his game key. Hey man, I feel like I have to say something, because even though it's not sponsored, I technically didn't pay for this. So, like, you know, I feel bad if I didn't say something. Let's see. There are only 12 negative reviews out of all of them, and half of them are just bigots being sad that the game is inclusive. That's how good the game is. That's honestly, like, it's a testament. Like, the game's really good. Are we shaming the boy for eating watermelon? Yes, we are. I'm shaming Cal for existing. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's right. We have beef, of course. GB worked hard as heck. Good on them. Absolutely. Like, this game is wonderful. Oh, and let me know if there's anything terrible with the stream. This is only, like, what, my 5th time streaming? So if something's too quiet or if something's crackling or something, do let me know. I'm doing my best. I appreciate y'all's patience with me. Oh my god, Alex. You're shaming me for punching a Pikachu that you asked me to punch? Okay, I see how this is. Alright, okay, alright. I was asked to do it. I didn't... Listen, Alex is framing me. This is a frame job. You can look back on the VOD after. I'm being framed, okay? I didn't... It's okay. I didn't... This was a setup. I should have known better than to listen to you, Alex. Oh my god. I'm a fool. I'm a fool for trusting you. I'm sorry, Pikachu. It was Alex's fault, not mine. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Okay. You bumped him with your shoulder. You knocked the mostly finished slice out of his hand. You smiled at him. No, it's alright. It's definitely bad. I'm gonna give him an affectionate sigh. If another slice is gonna make you happy, it will. Go ahead, I'm not gonna stop you. Cove picked up another slice. He smiled at you, delighted. A little while later, Cove flinched, making a confused sound. He slowly put his current slice down on the plate next to him. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky. His feet took him to the middle of the street. Did you notice anything? What do you mean? Huh. I thought I felt a raindrop. The sun's still out. You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off of your friend's step. Immediately, you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yelp. You're right! Oh, not a sun shower. Oh, boy. Oh. Rosa, I'm assuming that's the little OVO face, is now following. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for following. The subscribe. I don't think you can subscribe if you're talking about on Twitch. I don't think you can subscribe to me yet because I'm not an affiliate, so I don't think I'm allowed to get those, unfortunately. But thank you for the thought. I appreciate that. If you're talking about YouTube, like for a VOD later, I'm going to make a YouTube account to post VODs for this, but I don't have one yet, so I'll post that on my Twitter once I actually have it, but I don't have one now. Whoa there! Oh, I'm being hosted. Thank you so much, Legend EX Games. What the heck? That's so awesome. Thank you. Oh my gosh, what is this stream? There's so many people. This is... Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for everything. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh, man. Okay. Cove was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly. When he finally turned in your direction, his face was bemused. It's a sun shower. It seemed crazy, but soon you couldn't avoid the drops that began increasing into a light shower. Booming with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. I was excited. You were excited. You closed your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. The cool drops felt so right after the warmth of the day. Feeling energized, you ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he already was. Not that he cared, because he was busy spinning in the middle of the street. Dangerous if this were a busy street, but I'm assuming it'll be alright. I was looking for a stream to vibe to and I found it, so... Well, thank you! Oh my gosh. Y'all are too sweet. You'll camp with your Twitch Prime until I get a fit. Ultimate pansexual, you are the ultimate pansexual. You are the sweetest. Oh my god. Y'all, you're making my heart full. Jeez. Following his lead, you spun yourself until you were dizzy. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped, and left you dripping with the smell of wet asphalt and soil tickling your nose. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back. He frowned. Oh, it's over. Fox Socks is now following. Thank you for following, Fox Socks. Heck yeah. Oh my god, this is the most followers I've ever gotten in one stream. This is the most... Oh my god. I'm just... Sorry, I'm gonna freak out for the rest of this because y'all are just being so nice. Oh. The kids get kidnapped in the runaway event. It becomes a horror game. Oh, Jesus. I can make your heart empty. I know you can, Alex. That's why you're here. You're here to bring me back down to earth. It's over. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground, says Cove. The drops of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded that disappointed. Aww. Cove, don't be sad. Don't be a sad lad. I'll say, well, it was fun. Yeah, it's so cool that it happened. You then looked over at your door and sighed. You knew Ma wasn't going to be happy to see you trailing water into the house. Cove rubbed his arm awkwardly. He must have been thinking the same thing because he watched you sympathetically.
It's okay.
You can dry off at my house if you want. My parents won't mind. You're the sweetest guy I know. Just come out and say it outright. I'll say thanks. Thanks, let's do that. We're not at the crush phase yet. I'm sure we'll get to crush phase with him. I'm sure I'll get to the point where I want to romance him. But for now, we'll play it cool. We're playing friends. Oh, jeez. Don't think I forgot your deeds, Pikachu Puncher. I told you! I was set up. Watch the VOD later. Alex specifically asked me to punch it, and all I did was tap it, and I said, is that good enough? Because I didn't want to punch him that hard. Press X to not get noticed by the drivers when you duck and roll out of a moving car. Yes. Pikachu Punch. Oh god. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my days. I will just be known as the Pikachu Puncher. It's rough out here on the internet. It is. It's rough and tumble life here on the internet. Getting called Pikachu Puncher. Stop blaming me for your fault. Never. Alright. His whole demeanor brightened. You figured he must have felt relieved to help you avoid getting into any trouble. Oh, is this the first time I'm seeing Cove's house? I don't think I've been in his house. It's a nice house. Cove led you inside and you stayed close to him. We have a ton of spare towels. I just gotta dig them out of the hall closet. I think I'm gonna need to borrow some clothes from you too. But I made my character way shorter than Cove, so that would look ridiculous. I wonder if the game will pick up on that if I say, hey, let me borrow your clothes when I'm like half his size. This stream ain't big enough for the two of us. Oh god. Change your user to Pikachu Puncher. Oh my god. Oh gosh. I can't change my user to Pikachu Puncher, but maybe I'll change my Twitter name to Pikachu Puncher. I realized recently I haven't changed my Twitter name since I made a Twitter account, so I'm almost scared to do it now, because it's been like 3 or 4 years since I made my Twitter, so now it's almost like, oh god, I'm gonna break the streak. I can't do it. Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna... Should I be weird and ask for his clothes? Yeah, I'll be weird and ask for his clothes. I think I'm gonna need to borrow some clothes from you too. Cove didn't have any of the towels yet, but he came back into eye shot, so you could see him stare at you flatly and roll his eyes. Okay, good. They did acknowledge that I'm way too short to borrow his clothes. Ha ha. We're not exactly the same size. You'd be swimming in my clothes. You laughed and let him go. With that, Cove disappeared and returned in no time, towels in hand. Here. Thanks. You accepted one and began to pat yourself down. A sudden call caught both of your attentions. Hey, it's Mom! Which one of you loves the mom again? Is it Alex? Or is it all of you? Was everyone, like, thirsty for Cove's mom? I can't remember. GB thought of everything. They really did. Like, they were really specific about, like, making consistency through the game. Mommy Milkers. Oh, that's right. Last stream was Mommy Milkers. I forgot that. Oh, no. Mom 3 is best mom. Cove did not have to come for my boy Luis like that. Oh, jeez. I thought I heard voices. Cove's mom strolled into the living room with a curious grin.
Huh?
What happened here? You're both wet. Don't say it like that, Jesus. There was a sun shower. Badass. Hell yeah. Badass. Hell yeah. Cove smiled back at his parent. We came inside to dry off. My moms don't want me going into my house when I'm wet.
Right.
And so I told Luis to come back here. That was very sweet of you, baby. She ruffled Cove's wet hair and laughed as the drops of water that at the drops of water that shook off. Then a light came to Kyra's eyes.
What do you think?
I have an idea. Why don't we go for a drive? It has to beat standing around the house, and you'll air dry in no time. Cove only offered a shrug and a bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's go for a ride with Hot Mom 3. Queen. Aw, I feel you, ultimate pansexual, yes. When you're still figuring it out, and then you figure it out, but you've already committed to the name, so it's like, well, here we are. Aw. Alright. Kyra pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your moms. They had swapped numbers earlier in the summer.
See you soon.
Head on out to the garage. I'll meet you there in a minute. Sorry my mom can be so pushy. She gets some idea in her head and that's what she does. That's okay. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't do anything. That wasn't true at all, but you let him get away with that. Come on. Cove led you to the car and Kyra wasn't too far behind. Okay, into the back, you two. Heck yeah, more car shots. It is at that moment Cove and Luis knew they fucked up. Cliff simps for Kyra you can't deny. I mean, you're not wrong. You're right, I can't deny that. Alright, once the three of you were situated, Kyra started and drove out of the residential area. When she hit a main road, the car sped up and she rolled the back windows down all the way. Hey! Cove started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying into his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped against your wet clothes. Wind whipped wet clothes. Good old alliteration. I said this drive was gonna be good for getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Cove tried pressing the window button, but nothing happened. His eyebrows furrowed in frustration. You disabled the back? Sorry, can't hear you. Smiling deviously, Aaron turned on the radio and turned it up to be heard over the wind. Oh, jeez. You were not a fan of this stunt. You laughed and enjoyed the event, obviously. You yelled into the wind and burst into laughter. Looking over at Cove, you saw him relax. He seemed glad that you were having fun. Ooh, what's this? Uh-oh. And then something struck the side of your leg. Several papers were freed from under the car seats and were blown about. Oh! They can't get out the windows. Cove began to haphazardly reach around the space to try and get it all back under wraps. Amused, you helped. Mom, close the windows! Kyra offered no response other than a chuckle. She just kept driving. Cove snatched several of the papers out of the air, and you caught others, preventing most of them from flying out the window on your side. You showed Cove your collection while grinning widely. I think we got pretty much all of them. You figured if they were sitting out in the back of the car, they couldn't be important enough to get upset over, but Cove continued looking annoyed. Your smile started to slip, and at that, his expression softened. I hope so. Thanks for helping. Aww. The sun set completely, and at that, Kyra rolled up the windows. Cove let out a big sigh and released the random bits of paper he had in his fists. My mom is crazy. He ran a hand through his wind-blown hair and laughed with a bit of exasperation. You felt good. It's a good experience. We're having a good time. Imagine going to McDonald's and only ordering a chocolate chip cookie. That would be... Yeah, no. Kyra said, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. They can handle it. Cove's a precious lad. We like Cove here. We love Cove. The evening had really turned out to be more interesting than you expected. Grinning, you were happy with your odds with whatever else happened next. Cove watched you with interest until his focus was taken by a new comment from his mom. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore. No, but now I feel tricked. We're having a good time, but I can understand how Cove would be a little bit mad about that, so I'd be like, yeah, he didn't tell us you'd trap us like that. My bad. Kyra continued driving, the radio volume was adjusted for the closed windows, and everyone was sitting more comfortably. Kyra lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around. You caught her coy smile.
So?
Does anyone know what we drove past during the dry cycle? I'm not sure I want to. A movie theater. Oh god. I just had flashbacks to when movie theaters were a thing. Oh no. Oh boy. Let's see. Talked about sipping for Cove and Kyra and Cliff. Where's the Miranda love? Where's Miranda is great. Honestly, all the characters in this are lovely, except for Shiloh. We don't support Shiloh in this house. Okay, most places have one somewhere. Not for long, Cove. Not if that virus has anything to say about it. It isn't that late, you know. We can probably still catch a show.
What?
Really, Mom? We don't even know what'd be playing.
Come on.
That's what makes it fun. I want to see a movie. Heck yeah! No hate towards you. He's just a dick. You, snake boy. Me drawing Shiloh right now. How dare. Listen, Jeremy is terrible. That's his whole thing. And then when he gets older, he just gets really depressed. He's doing his best. Oh, Jeremy. Who pissed in your cereal? I want to see a movie. Both of you? He seemed hesitant. You gave him a smile and Cove eased up a bit. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating impulse behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. We might never have another night like this. That's a good point. Honestly. Fair point. Fair point, Kyra. And don't worry, Luis. I said I'd watch over you for the night, not just 10 minutes or so. I'll put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there.
That's,
I didn't bring any shoes. Oops. I'm not wearing any either. You lifted your foot up and wiggled your toes so Cove could see. How are we gonna go inside barefoot? I don't know.
it's all right.
We'll sneak through quick. No one will notice. You can do it just this once. Damn, she really is the cool mom. You bounced in your seat excitedly that this was actually going to happen. Kyra was right. You never get to do stuff like this. Kyra drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. Oh my god, there's no one around. It's just like real life. Ow. Ooh. He needs to try harder if that's his best. Children, please do drugs. My advice does not say to go that far. I think maybe please don't do drugs. Where's Sparta? He is on the other side of the camera today, asleep in the desk chair that he refuses to let me move. The real coronavirus. Yeah, he's dead asleep, so I think he will be pretty mad if I try and bring him over today, but maybe later he'll wake up and then y'all can see the cat. We'll see. I don't want to disturb him, though. He's having a good sleep. With the unbuckling of her seatbelt, she ushered you and Cove out. Despite being hesitant to leave, once outside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the cinema. You were right along with him. The tarmac was still wet from before and cold to stand on with bare feet. Inside, you noticed there were no lines. Oh god, it's getting more real. All the current shows had already started. Ah, I see. Kyra paid that no mind and strode up toward the counter with some words of encouragement. A third of the running time is ads these days. We haven't missed anything. Meanwhile, Cove stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to the other and constantly kept looking around. Aw, Cove, are you worried to be breaking the rules? Aw. Aw. His shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than standing around still would have. Or just rather than standing still would have. If there were people around to really notice. Which there's not. It was pretty goofy. You teased him over it. Of course I'm gonna tease him over it. And I thought you loved being barefoot. Outside? Well, on the bright side, I bet you'll never forget about your shoes again, huh? Never. Will you? Probably not. Eliciting a sigh of relief out of you, Kyra returned with the tickets in hand. She quickly herded you and Cove towards the showing room. I thought that said showering room for a minute, and I was about to be like, why is there a shower room in a movie theater? Oh, what if they watch the Emoji Movie? Oh, no. Kyra's, like, looking at the film list, and she's like, what's one that I can take these children to see? Emoji Movie? Well, that sounds child-friendly. 3 tickets, please. Ooh. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry for the little hiccup, but hold still. We've almost made it home free. Once we sit down, it'll be smooth sailing. The lights were already off in the showing room, but the movie hadn't started yet. Oh my god. There's no one here. Oh god, it's too real. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing. Yes! Keeping her volume in a hushed tone, Kyra couldn't help but burst with excitement over your luck. You followed her down the walkway until she spotted open seats in the middle-ish area of the theater. You sit in the top row. Everyone knows that. Top row, middle. Well, okay, like maybe like third to top row, but still. Middle row? Nah. Nah, dog. Nah. Kyra pointed at the seats, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove, waiting for input. Cove nodded, and you decided to give her a thumbs up, and she led the way. When you reached your seats, Kyra sighed contentedly. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them down on the floor. He then leaned over and whispered to you.
So...
Do you have any idea what this movie is? Yeah, it's the Emoji Movie. We just established that, Cove. Have you not been listening? Ooh. Oh, you've never been to a movie theater with a showering room? Pathetic. My apologies. I didn't realize this was the standard in America. Truly, there is quite a cultural difference between there and Canada. Oh, God. No, I didn't hear the name or anything when your mom bought the tickets. Oh, boy. After a couple more previews, the main event began. It dawned on you quickly that this was a horror film. Oh no. One about a group of students being hunted by dangerous ghosts. Phasmophobia? The B movie would be better, TBH. Cove's too busy thinking about Weed Church to remember the Emoji Movie. God, we're bringing back Weed Church now too? Oh, jeez. Whoop, sorry, I hit the mic. Jeremy hunkered in one of the NPC. Yeah, they walk into the movie theater, there's nobody there. Off in the far corner, you just see one person curled up in the corner who looks over at them. They're like, is that... Who is that? And then just distantly, softly, you just hear... Mommy milkers. The true horror movie. Right there. You were psyched, you could live with that, you thought this was going to be annoying, you became nervous, you were terrified, you couldn't do this, you had to leave. I became nervous. Me at that age, that would be very accurate. It might get too loud for you, you struggle with frightening films. Oh my god, I love how many choices are in this game. I love it. I love this game for its choices so much. I cannot imagine what the flowchart looks like. Okay. It might get too loud for you. I was a scared child, so it would have been you were struggled with frightening films. It was one thing to go see a movie you knew nothing about, but a horror movie? That was an entirely different story, and it was eating at you that you had no idea what kind of scare you should be bracing for. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed that he looked less than thrilled with the movie. He bit down on his bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. You angled your body in the seat to be closer to him. You grabbed hold of his hand. It might get too loud for you. My autistic noise sensitive ass is happy. I know, like, right? It's just, they thought of everything to, like, really let you just be actually yourself in this game. It's lovely. I freaking love it. Oh, it's good. All right. Tap Cove on the shoulder to get his attention. Would I tap his shoulder or would I just, like, lean? Because this is going to be a cute moment. You know this is going to be a cute moment. I'm going to say tap Cove on his shoulder to get his attention. You gave him a light pat, and he jumped slightly at the unexpected touch. Cove became worried when he realized it was you, and he saw the look on your face. He watched you with an unspoken question written all over his face. Will you be okay? You nodded yes. His expression softened. Without words or hesitation, oh, he offered you his hand. You took it, obviously. Okay, listen, I have a heart. I'm not gonna not take the boy's hand. He took his hand, of course, your fingers wrapped tight around his. He gave your hand a squeeze as if to doubly confirm he was there. This is so cute. Homoerotic tension intensifies. I told you, me and Cove, just a couple of heterosexual bros. Definitely straight as straight can be, just constantly holding hands and hugging throughout our childhood. It's just, we are the most heterosexual bros. As if. Imagine not taking it. Could never. Could not ever. Even if we are just friends, would still take his hand. Let's be real. Just two bros. As we said last time. Two bros chilling in a theater 5 feet apart because they're not gay. More like 0 feet apart because they are gay. Cove flashed you an encouraging smile before you dared to look back at the screen. You felt a little better. Sometimes the other people in the theater screamed. Oh, so you mean Jeremy. Sometimes Jeremy screamed or clapped or jeered depending on what was happening. I'm completely headcanoning that it's just Jeremy up in the corner of the theater. He's the only other person here. Kyra, I am looking. Kyra just be like, yes, this was the plan all along. Your heart was pounding in your chest when the movie finally came to an end. The main character resolved the hauntings, but in a dark conclusion, they didn't make it out alive. You stayed to let the credits roll, as you should, and for the theater to clear out. Then it was time to head back to the car. Both you and Cove... Oh god, just thinking about that now made me realize how long it's been since I saw a movie and did that, stayed till the credits were over. Jesus. I think the last movie I saw was Knives Out in, was it February? Oh my god, it's been like a year since I've seen a movie. Jesus. Welcome to another episode of Jeremy Commits Tax Evasion. He's hiding in the movie theater. Smart, since nobody would look there nowadays. Okay. Both you and Cove took the same seats in the back of the car again. Even though it was late, Kyra was exuding an optimistic energy. We survived it! Your nerves were still calming down from the movie. Cove gave you a worried glance and then a hard look at his mom. A movie wasn't ever going to kill us. It was just going to make us unhappy. She deflated a little at the chastising.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, gang. I didn't know it'd be that bad. It made me really tense. I guess that's the point of horror stuff, but I kind of don't want to have to feel like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not for everyone. He narrowed his eyes defensively at the attempt to encourage him. Yeah, it wasn't just me either. Oh my god, Cove. I love... He's such an accurate, like, 13-year-old kid. Don't comfort me, Mom! God! Jeremy did not pay for his ticket. He was too short for them to see him, so he just walked in. Yeah, accurate. He just scuttled into the theater. Nobody batted an eye. Aw, Louis, how are you feeling? Really scared me. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We'll go with... It was scary, but I had fun, because we had a gay moment, and obviously that's fun. Kyra smiled a little more at that. I'm glad. I still can't believe they died. It's nice when things aren't all obvious, and you don't really know how it'll end until you see it, but I wanted it to go better. I demand a happier ending. I demand it. I loved how it all fell apart when it seemed like things were gonna be okay. That's something. No. You nodded along with what Cove was saying. Oh no, you feel guilty because I voiced Jeremy, but at the same time, making him pick up some of the characters, decking him for starting to get... Aww. No, that's fair. He deserves to be put in line. Jeremy is an asshole. I feel like Jeremy probably wouldn't do... I like to think he wouldn't do something like that shitty, but if he did, he deserves to get decked for it. We can only hope that Jeremy gets better with time. I know it's canon that he, like, gets more angry when he's, like, older again, but maybe somewhere deep down, he'll get a little bit better. Maybe. He'll learn not to be such an asshole, that's for sure. You were interested in hearing his thoughts. You and Cove spent the rest of the car ride absorbed in conversation about the movie. So, who's hungry? Oh my god, Kyra. Just gonna take us everywhere, huh? You were surprised when you realized Kyra didn't drive you home, but to a drive-thru burger restaurant instead. Heck yeah. Why not? That's the spirit. Mild indifference. That's the spirit, kids. Get whatever you want. Oh my god, I could never do that. Whenever I was a kid, like, you're with somebody else's parents, and they're like, get whatever you want. Or just, even now, still, when I'm with someone and you go out somewhere and they're like, oh, get whatever you want. No. I can't. I will get the least expensive thing that I enjoy eating, because, no. I can't let you spend money on me. Illegal. Oh. Me checking for the cheapest thing on the menu. Exactly. Kyra said you'll go everywhere except home. She's just gonna drive us around for the rest of the game. We're just stuck in this car for the rest of our lives. Oh my god. This choice list. Oh, is this what someone was referencing earlier when they said imagine going to McDonald's and just getting a cookie? Watch me just get a cookie, a soft serve, and a milkshake. And that's it. Oh my god. Look at the bread bank. We get bread on deck, bread on the floor, toasted. Oh jeez. We like the bread here. All the bread. Oh god, what the heck would I get? Okay, let me think back to when I was this age. When I was this age, oh god, what would I have... I would have been like... It's a 13. I was still pretty picky when I was 13, but I wasn't the worst. I'd say a cheeseburger. Give him a cheeseburger. We'll say I got a meal, because it'd be weird not to get a meal. It's cheeseburger, french fries, soda. That's everything. We're not getting any more than that. Oh my god, I wonder if you can actually click on everything, because that would be ridiculous. Low-key curious, but nah, we're not gonna do that. Okay, yeah, and then that's everything. That's it, that's all. Oh gosh. Derek, a small child who probably can't punch anyone. Derek, when Jeremy is mean, this sign can't stop me because I can't read. Derek is probably too small to do any harm, but he will not let you. You can click on everything. Kyra does too. Hardcore. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Is that all right?
Of course.
That's a-okay. Kyra pulled up to the window and ordered what you asked for first. She then decided to order one of everything on the value menu. Sure enough. Whoa, what are you gonna do with all that? Eat it. I love this lady so much.
Really?
The whole menu? That's right. There are only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it. Besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm going to feed your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at his mother's antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. A few minutes later, Kyra exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seats. She then drove off into the night. Can you pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. You chose one of the wrapped sandwiches and handed it to her. You had no idea if it was a burger or something else.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Accepting that this was what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bags for himself. Cove ended up with some onion rings, and he happily munched on them. Heck yeah, onion rings. You selected something randomly. You weren't even questioning Kyra's crazy ride anymore. I want to get off Mrs. Kyra's crazy ride. The adventure continued, and you were so preoccupied in the back that you almost didn't realize the car had stopped. Kyra turned to look over her shoulder. Okay, party people, it seems we've reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except empty road ahead, and then you noticed it. The now leaving sign! Kyra took you through the entire town. What are we doing here? Kyra turned the car around and parked it along the side of the road. I think you both could use a break to stretch your legs, and I doubt anyone is going to come through here this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. Cove shook his head and got out of the car without a fight. She really said, you guys are going everywhere but home today. Do your moms know about this? Fair question. Hopefully. I mean, she did say that I think she said earlier that she was told our moms that she's keeping us through the night, so I guess? Luis, did you tell your mom, sir? Sir? Given that earlier on in this playthrough, I've run away from... I've, like, gotten lost from home, like, twice, and given my mother's, like, a heart attack twice. Yeah, it's fair to say the two of them probably, would be very unhappy if they don't know where I am right now. Oh, God. Let's see here. You stayed in the car. No, of course you're going to follow Cove. I'm not staying in the car. You got out and caught up with Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms while he strolled around. Oh, this is actually where we ran away last time. I wonder if he remembers. Running away from my parents' prank? Gone wrong the police were called? Actually, though? Oh, God. You really did think that she was just leaving you there? Oh, my God. Bye, kids. You thought thought being there was exciting. Being there was pretty cool in your mind. You thought being there was pretty cool. This was a good place to stop. If she was going to take us all around town, at least it wasn't done halfway. Cove smiled, glancing from the stars to you. Shortly after, you noticed Cove's expression changed. His eyebrows furrowed, and it seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted to say next. Are you confessing, Cove? Is this the moment? Are you telling me that you love me?
I'm so sorry.
Aw, okay, never mind. Luis, I am really sorry for my mom being crazy tonight. She isn't always like this, seriously. Why is she being like this now? I think she feels like she has to get out there and do things with me while she can. She wants to make the time memorable. This visit has been really different than the others, and it didn't start off good. Thinking about how Kyra's trip began this summer, you could understand why Cove was thinking along those lines. She probably wanted all the trouble to be worth it in the end. Why does Jeremy hate his parents so much anyway? Teenage angst. Basically, I'm pretty sure the canon reason is because they're overbearing. Jeremy hates his parents because they're kind of implied, I think, to be like helicopter parents, kind of where they're like, or maybe not, maybe they're just like really overly enthusiastic. Either way, he just doesn't like how enthusiastic they are about him. He'd rather be left alone. Yes, they did also make him get that bowl cut, which probably stems a lot of his resentment. I'd wager a guess that he probably wasn't a huge fan of that. If I had to guess, probably not super big fan of that. Whoops, hope you didn't hear that. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just looking for something very quickly. How do I... Oh, I'm so bad at streaming. So very bad. There it is. Okay, okay. There we go. I said I was going to make Alex a mod this stream, and I almost forgot to do that. So, there we go. Now you have mod privileges, Alex. Because I trust you. Kyra, Cove, what the hell are you doing here? Cove, we can be together now, Mom. MC peeks behind Cove. If my parents made me get a bowl cut, I would simply run away from home. I used to have... True story for y'all. I used to basically have Jeremy's haircut when I was a kid. It was a little bit longer, but it was basically his haircut. I think I had it until I was like, I want to say like 10 or 11. Yeah, so I guess me and Jeremy share a little bit. Although at the time I thought it was great. It was only retroactively that I realized how stupid I looked. Okay. Let's see. Shouldn't be being not understanding. She give you a taste of your own medicine. I nodded in understanding. Cove breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks. It went silent between you both, so you jumped when you heard the sound of a car door closing. Aw. Sparta just rolled over in his sleep. Cove, Luis. You turned to see Kyra by the driver's side, waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where you both were standing. Thanks for waiting. I didn't mind.
My baby.
How did I end up with such a polite boy? She ruffled his hair and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. You thought about how interesting it was to see how Cove interacted with his mom. And then the memory hit you. Oh, yes, we are bringing it up. That's awesome. God, I apologize that I hadn't done all of the younger version ones. I'll probably go back and do them on stream some other time. I just really wanted to see Jeremy, so I skipped ahead to this age because I knew he wasn't in the first one. But I'm glad that it references the memory of us running away. That's awesome. Just say you're Jeremy already. I'm not. We overlap a bit. Then the memory hits you. The first summer you and Cove came to this very spot in his runaway attempt to find his way back to his mom, and now you were all here together. You whispered about it to Cove. Taking a step closer to Cove, you leaned in close to share the moment with him. Isn't it strange that your mom took us here? This is where you went to try seeing her when you moved to Sunset Bird. Cove flinched and his eyes darted over to his mom, worried that she heard. When he was satisfied she didn't, he turned back. Yeah, it's weird, but she doesn't know that happened. At least I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Really? Dad likes to tell her things are fine so she doesn't worry. You nodded and kept the secret. Cove looked at you gratefully, and you shared a conspiratorial smile. Anyway, it's kind of cool to be here, right on the edge of town. Exactly. We're standing on a precipice. I think so too. I knew you'd get it. It's good to appreciate these times and places. Kyra let out a big breath of air. We should probably call it a night, huh? Yes. A second wind of energy hit you. You bounced on your feet, eager to get a move on. Kyra shyly smiled and gestured to the car. Quietly, you all made your way back to it. Cove naturally followed you, taking the seat nearby in the back with the collection of fast food bags still strewn about. You rested your head into the seat as the car roared to life. As you did, Cove leaned in to whisper. Hey. I can talk to your moms if they do get mad about tonight for some reason. It was my mom's idea. You didn't have a choice. This was worth it, even if they get mad. Your mouth pulled into the biggest grin, getting a laugh out of Cove. If you say so. Cove smiled bashfully at you, but said nothing else. God, stop being so cute, Cove. Jesus. Illegal. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was off completely, and you felt your eyelids getting heavy. Okay, again with the choice. You think I'm not gonna pick the cute gay choice? Who do you think I am? Whose stream do you think this is? Obviously, your head came to rest on Cove. Thank you very much. Oh, jeez. Just checking chat quickly. Are you gonna snitch to Kyra? No. I would never. Aw, sweet cat. Check my DMs, you say. Check my DMs, you say, Alex. Ah! Jeremy Christmas icon. That's very cute, Alex. That's very cute. You should share that on Twitter so I can retweet it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Because it's really cute. You earlier being like, oh, my drawing's gonna look bad. You now literally draw something absolutely freaking amazing. I swear. I swear. Shaking my head at you. I haven't finished them. Okay. Well, when you do finish them, let me know and post them on Twitter so I can retweet the heck out of them. Bay and Pran. Yes, Bay. Bay is my favorite. Other than Jeremy. Alright. You were too tired to keep your head up, and it felt quite comfortable there. Cove didn't have any issues there. He leaned into it. He must have been exhausted, too. Oops. Go back. You were happy to stay close like that. It was warm and comfortable. When you opened your eyes, you expected to still be in the car, not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. Sitting up in bed, you thought about how last night was quite an experience. It almost felt like a dream more than a real event, but it definitely happened. And you were glad that you got to have a spontaneous escapade this summer. Heck yeah. How long have I been streaming? 1 hour. Okay, so we'll definitely do at least one more. At least one more. I would pick up Sparta to show you guys the cat, but he is very much still asleep. He is a sleepy lad. All right, which one should we do now? We've got wave, growing, family, dinner, road trip, mall, birthday, summer work, and soiree? Can't say I know what that one is. Do family, yeah? Alright, we can do family, sure. Family. The sun warmed your skin from its place in the sky, and you closed your eyes, enjoying the mix of the heat with the pleasant breeze that drifted past you. I need to go and get some work done. Thanks for the Q. Of course. Thank you so much for joining and for hosting as well. That was so much fun. I hope you come back again sometime, and I hope you have a good day. Bye. All right. Let's see here. You tend to save soiree for later in the summer? Yeah. Oh, you'll be in the next stream? That's awesome. It's at the same time, same day. I'm trying to do this every week from now on. All right. You and Lee had spread out a blanket on top of one of the hills behind your house and had been relaxing there for a while now. Lee had come over earlier in the day, and while a range of activities had been discussed, from staying home to heading down to the beach, a picnic on the hill had been the choice you both settled on. A small spread was laid out in front of you. Some bottled water, soft drinks, as well as chips and sliced fruit. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. You sat up and reached for a snack, listening to Lee talk away about the musical she had gotten to see a few days ago. Heck yeah. It was unbelievable. There was singing, dancing, and crazy stunts, and it was all done live right in front of my face. Maybe one day we could go together. I've got to see more shows like that. You smiled at Lee's enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing and performing. And she was good at it, too. You'd gotten the chance to hear her sing a couple of tunes, and you knew she put a lot of effort into it. Oh boy, how talented of a singer are we? We'll say we're good at singing. We'll say Luis is a good singer. Sure. It was nice the two of you could share that interest. I wonder if maybe we could put on our own show? Think of how fun it'd be. We could perform for our parents and ask our friends and some other people to come and watch too. It'd totally work. Sure, I'll give it a go. Yeah, let's do it. Heck yeah. You'd actually thought about doing something like that before, but never had the chance to. Lee clapped in excitement and bounced on the balls of her feet, beyond happy that you were on board with her idea. Oh, Mr. Cat is awake. What you doing, Sparta? Sparta? Oh, he ignoring me. Fine. Be that way then, Cat. Imagine having the confidence to do this. To be fair, when I was younger, not 13, I don't think, but like when I was like that age between like 11 and younger than that, I used to be like super into the idea of like performing in front of audiences. The only thing that I couldn't do was if it was like a small group of people I knew who were all watching me, could never do that. But as long as it was a large group of people, I was fine singing in front of them. That was some hella confidence I had. I still don't mind like doing things in front of people, like giving talks and that kind of thing. I used to do public speaking when I was in high school and that kind of thing. So I don't mind that, but singing in front of people, that one's a bit harder for me now. I'm not as good as I used to be, unfortunately. When my voice fell when I started T, I wasn't doing singing lessons anymore, so I kind of never learned how to properly use this vocal range. So I can still hold a note, but I falter all over the place, and it's not as good as when I was a kid. Oh, bless you. Cat just sneezed. I'm gonna sing.
Do you want to too, or maybe do something else?
Ooh, we get to pick. How... I'll sing too.
Cool. We'll perform an incredible duet. Is there anything else that's coming to your head?
No, that's all. The two of you ran back to your house to grab the supplies you needed, dodging your mom's amused questions before heading back to the out to the blanket to get started. You laid down on the blanket together, your MP3 player in hand. Oh, just a little MP3 player, not a phone. Oh, I loved that. I had an iPod Nano, I think they're called. They're great, honestly. Just sing total drama songs SMH. You know I can't do that anymore. If somebody out there realized that I was that same kid, mass chaos. Cat is meowing and in blanket, also trans icon.
Oh, speak of cats, come here. Come say hi. Oh, hello. You want to come say hi to the stream? It's the boy. He woke up. Hey, Sparta. Oh, you are so doughy. Did you just wake up or something? Yeah?
The boy has come. He's come to the stream.
Sparta. Hi.
You're so sleepy. Why do you put up with me, huh?
I love you. Okay, I put you down. There you go. The boy is here.
Yes, he will be chilling off to the side. You might hear him purr if he feels up to it. There you go. Look at her, so baby. They are. He's so cute. He's such a cuddle bun. Well, except for right now, he has decided to head off on his own direction. All right. Lee and you discussed the plans in detail, settling on a song first and then practicing out parts for the show. The afternoon passed quickly, the sun dropping lower and lower in the sky, and after having thoroughly worked out how the show was going to go, you decided to take a break. He's tapping his foot against the ground. You okay there? Cat. Sparta, leave Cal and come live with me. I'll never break my foot. Are we still on about how I broke my foot like 2 years ago? Still on about that?
Oh, you know, we should have invited Cove to watch us practice our show. He could tell us if it's bad before we put on the real thing.
No. I'm glad he didn't see.
Oh? Why?
No, that's not what I meant. Go back. That's not what I wanted to say. No, I don't mean that he wouldn't like it. I mean that I'm scared to sing in front of him. You said nothing. Maybe we could ask him to watch us another time. And it was left at that. It's too bad Derek isn't in the neighborhood today. I like him. Yeah, he's a good person.
I knew you'd think so. So, exactly how much do you like him? Or maybe there's someone else that I haven't heard of yet?
Lee wriggled her eyebrows at you suggestively, and you knew exactly what she was implying. Oh, are we gonna be honest, or are we gonna lie? Ooh, we gonna be honest about our crush with Cove? The question is, does Luis even acknowledge he has a crush for Cove at this phase? Does he? We'll go ambiguous. We'll be that asshole. I can't answer that. Lee's eyes sparkled in an instant like she just hit the jackpot.
What?
What? Who is it?
Mr. Holden? It's none of them. Mr. Holden. Oh, boy. I want to see what happens if you say nothing. There's nobody I like right now. I have a crush, yeah.
What?
No, so you can't even say Cove? That's funny. I mean, I guess because I didn't set us to Cove. So I'm going to say I'm in denial. I'm in denial. There's nobody I like that right now. She huffed in disappointment, pursing her lips together. Darn, but you promised to tell me if that changes, right? I'll do it for you. I'll tell.
Yeah.
It's a deal then. Speaking of crushes, there is one boy I think is pretty cute. You leaned back on your elbows and listened as Lee talked about her crush, all in great detail. It was nice to have her telling you a little gossip for once, rather than always trying to get it out of you. Finally, you both decided to pack everything up and head back home for the evening. Lee talked excitedly about the show as you did, and you thought back on what you had already accomplished for it. You could definitely do with a little more practice, but what you had so far was a solid foundation for the performance. Uh-oh. Say, Mr. Holden, come on, you know you want to... Nah, we're gonna pretend Luis is that dumb, and he's like, I'm not crushing on anyone. Crush me? Unheard of. Tension hung thick in the air as the three of them turned to you, and Lee frowning slightly. You'd interrupted something. Exactly what, you weren't sure. Who died? Oh no. Hello.
Oh.
Hi, Luis. Hello, Lee. Welcome back. The room fell quiet again, with no one quite knowing what to say. You felt incredibly awkward, but the silence didn't last long. You don't have to stop just because those two are here. There's no reason to try keeping it a secret. Elizabeth was mad, with her arms folded defensively over her chest, but your mom's nodded in agreement with her.
Well...
Oh. Are we adopted? Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Oh. Oh, okay. Elizabeth was asking about her parents. Her biological ones. The world spun around you at the news. You couldn't understand. Why was this happening now? When you glanced at Lee, she shuffled her feet uncomfortably, as though she didn't know if she should be there or not anymore. You didn't know either. Your moms had always been open and honest about the fact that neither of them had given birth to you or your sister, but the details hadn't been fully explained before. It made sense that Elizabeth didn't know a lot about her biological parents and wanted to know more. You just hadn't ever thought you'd accidentally stumble into it. Elizabeth looked at your parents expectantly. She wasn't going to let the unintentional interruption derail things. We don't want to keep that information from either of you. It's your right to know your past, but we did want to wait until you asked us to hear yourselves. Well, it's happening now, so... Your mom shared a nervous glance, and Ma took in a quick breath before speaking again. I adopted you from the Philippines when you were just a baby. Elizabeth dropped her arms, her eyebrows shooting upward in surprise. Wait, I wasn't born here?
No.
No, you weren't. You could clearly see that your sister was appalled by this information. You struggled even more with what to do or how to react. Am I gonna have to pass some test to even be a citizen?
No.
No, you were adopted into the country. We took care of things. You're already a citizen. You have nothing to worry about. I followed all the laws when it came to bringing a child into the U.S. Nothing can be held against you. Elizabeth sighed, placated with the information, but still far from happy. Who were my parents? As people? Why did they put me up for adoption in the first place? Ma softly put her hands over Elizabeth's shoulder, trying to provide some support before she gave her the answer.
I am so sorry.
I'm so sorry, sweetie. Your parents were reported to have died. They didn't go into details on the specifics of how, but you were an orphan. I wish we had better news for you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was torn between emotions, her eyes filled with tears as she threw her hands in the air, settling on enraged. Great! So I can never meet them, even if I wanted to. Not that I could have anyway, since they lived in another part of the world, when they were still alive. Elizabeth turned her back on you and your moms and stormed off, sprinting up the stairs and to her room before anyone could stop her. I have to go and talk to her. Ma immediately started to follow her, but Mom gently held her by the arm and shook her head. You should give her a little space to process it all. Your ma's head hung low, but she stopped walking. Damn. I had no idea. Well, I mean, I know that obviously two women can't just have a child together, but for some reason I had just assumed that like one of them had given birth to us. Like I just assumed that. Luis finding out he's adopted. Yeah, exactly. I kind of thought it was something like that. I did not think. But I mean, that does make sense, since you can make your character literally look like anything, so under certain circumstances you wouldn't look anything like your parents, which would obviously be kind of weird. Huh. That's interesting. We are adopted. Okay. With Elizabeth now gone, the two of them seemed to remember you, and Lee were still standing awkwardly off to the side. I'm sorry you had to see all that. It's not how I expected it would have happened when the time came. But since it's the topic of the day, Luis, is there anything you'd like to ask? You deserve to know, after all. Lee patted your back and gave you a supportive look. Yeah, I want to know. Your parents both nodded in sync to your reply, ready to talk. I can leave if you want to have things be private. I want you to be here. I can do that. Lee shifted a little closer to you in support, and you were glad to have her there with you. It made you feel a little stronger somehow. You turned to face your parents again, preparing yourself for what they were about to tell you. Ma was the first to speak, her voice quivering with emotion. You were adopted as a baby, but 2 years after Elizabeth. We used a different organization that time, and you were adopted within the U.S. We're sorry to tell you, Luis, your parents had also passed away, and no other family member took you in, if there were any. That's why we wanted to wait until you asked. We didn't want to suddenly drop that in your lap. We wanted you to be prepared.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Luis. Lee gave you a reassuring squeeze on the arm to show she was there for you. Oh. You didn't kill them, right? Thank you for telling me. I did want to know, and now I do. Thank you for listening, Luis. If there's anything else you want to know, all you have to do is ask. We'll do our best to answer any questions you have.
Are you okay?
How are you feeling now? You gonna be okay? Lee watched you closely, as though judging how exactly she should react to what was going on. I feel fine, but you didn't mean that. Oh. Yeah, I cried. A lump formed in your throat just as warm tears started falling over your cheeks. You wiped them away with the back of your hand, sniffling quietly. No one seemed to have any words after that. Let's see. I do kind of want to go see Elizabeth. I kind of want to talk to her. As much as I've kind of been like, whatever for her for most of the story, I feel like we probably would be the only two who get what each other is going on right now. Luis reading Anne of Green Gables or something, orphan books. Oh shit, that me. Oh shit, I'm orphan. Hi, Sparta. Oh, very cute. I want to either stay with Moms, get out of the house, or see Elizabeth. I wanted to get out of the house. You turned on your heel without another word and headed toward the front door. Lee's footsteps echoed from behind, and you knew she was following you. Can you stay, Lee? I want to go by myself.
Oh.
Okay, I'll wait here for you, but I really hope you'll be alright, Luis.
Without knowing where you really wanted to go, you began to walk down the street quietly, dragging your feet. You turned and kept going, unsure of what else to do. Being upset had blinded you to everything, and you wanted nothing more than to just get away from it all. Eventually, you found yourself at the beach, your feet sinking into the soft sand while you looked out over the ocean. You took off your shoes and paced the sand over the water's edge, letting the cool ocean swirl around your bare feet. It was comforting being there, with the ocean breeze rustling your pink hair and the smell of salty water filling your nostrils. Eventually, you took a seat on the ground, watching the sun as it dipped down further and further toward the horizon before it disappeared completely. The sky shifted from blue and pink to orange, and then the deep blue of night. A sudden shout drew your attention away from the sea. Someone was calling your name. Your head snapped toward the source of the yells. And at the edge of the beach, where grass met the sand, was a silhouette in the darkness, but the person was still unmistakable to you. It was Cove. What was he doing here? His eyes settled on you ahead. Realizing you were, in fact, there, he rushed down to the shore to where you sat. You could tell he was out of breath when he approached. You rose to meet him. Cove, did something happen? No, not to me anyway. I wanted to know what happened to you. I went to your house to say hi, but your parents said you were gone, that you needed to get away.
What's wrong?
I mean, I had to think something was going on after something like that, so I came to find you. Aww. Aww. The backgrounds in this game are so pretty. They really are. The art in this game is phenomenal. Especially the backgrounds. They're all like just really freaking pretty. I love the way the sky changes. I know that's such a simple thing, but I really like the way the night skies look, the way the evening skies look, and like all of the areas are so good. Imagine running into Jeremy after finding out you're an orphan. Oh no. That would be horrible. It would just be... That would be terrible. My parents are dead. I can just yell at him. It's nothing. I'm gonna be that dramatic asshole. It's nothing. Cove's forehead furrowed in concern. He wasn't going to accept that lie at all. There's definitely something. Do you not want to tell me? My parents, from before my mom's died when I was a baby. Moms didn't say how. Maybe they don't know. But there wasn't any other family I could live with, so that's why I got adopted. Without having to say anything else, Cove reached out and pulled you into a tight embrace, his familiar warmth enveloping you. I'm sorry, Luis. His words were whispered comfortingly into your shoulder. You started to cry. You pressed your face into the crook of his neck, unable to stop the tears. The hold he had on you tightened. Can you explain everything to me? You nodded softly before taking in a heavy breath and launching into the story. Cove sat quietly and listened attentively, nodding every now and then or taking in a sharp inhale. It took a long time for you to relay the details. Dozens of stars were pinpointed in the sky as the night wore on. Silence settled between you as Cove sat quietly for a moment, contemplating everything you had said. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet, drifting through the night towards you. Luis.
I'm so sorry.
I'm really sorry about what happened to your parents. So sorry. He stopped suddenly and took in a deep, shaky breath, and you got the impression he was struggling with what was right to say. I feel that. That's such a difficult feeling when, like, you have a friend who's clearly going through something incredibly painful, and you now, in the moment, have to figure out what you feel like is the right thing to say, what can comfort them the most. That's so hard. But of course, it's so important, because you obviously want your friends to know that you care for them and that you genuinely are thinking of what they're saying and thinking of them and feeling for them. Like, it's a difficult thing. For sure. Chat. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I appreciate about Jeremy and really all of the jerk characters from XOXOdropolis is that they're all assholes, but they're not mean. They're not like genuinely terrible people. They're just abrasive. Which I think is what makes them so charming and also lovable, is that they're very real people in that they're not, you know, perfect, and a lot of them like Jeremy when he's younger especially, and like Nate when he's so angry, like they've got their flaws, but they all still care about the people around them. Sorry if you could hear the cat rustling around in the back. I'm just so mad. Why did it have to be like this? Luis, you're not doing anything wrong. You know that, right? I think you can be as sad as you want for as long as you need, or you can feel okay about it whenever you want, too. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair as he looked out over the ocean.
It's okay.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever you feel about it is how you feel about it, and you don't have to force yourself to be different. That is the right thing to say, honestly. That's the truth about grief. Grieving for any reason. Oh. Cat. I can hear you up on the counter. Sparta. Hey. Oh, one second. Sparta. Yeah, that's right. You stay down from there. Sorry about that. I left brownies on the counter like an idiot, so he was probably trying to eat those. Anyways. Except for Shiloh. Shiloh is, well, in the words of GB Patch, who knows Shiloh? Shiloh's a bit too real for me. I've seen the kind of person that he is too often. But, again, we don't actually know what kind of person he is, since all of the answers about him are always... He could be sincere. Oh, hi! You here to join the stream again, huh? You wanna say hi? How's it going? You here to chill? What kind of brownies? Regular brownies, Alex. Regular brownies. Hi. Hi. How you doing? Hi. Alright. Pull you back off camera. Okay. There we go. I meant flavor, you twat. They're just chocolate brownies. I'm not sophisticated enough to know how to make caramel chocolate brownies. Like, do you really think? Well, actually, I probably could, but that takes extra effort, so no. They're just regular brownies. They came out pretty good this time, though. Alex really thought you had weed brownies. Yes, Rosa, you got it exactly. They're just chocolate brownies. I do not have the patience for more than that. You nodded. You couldn't offer more than that, but he didn't need more. Cove smiled at you a little, and you could tell he was trying to be comforting. And your moms definitely don't. It doesn't matter if you're not blood related, you're definitely family. I can see that, and I hope you can too. You felt the reassurance in his eyes. Oh, Elizabeth. Hey. The sudden voice of your sister behind you made you jump. You saw her standing a little way away. You walked closer, and you didn't know what to do or what she was planning on saying.
So?
Would you mind going? I want to talk to just Luis. You can come back. It's not going to be forever or anything. Cove seemed equal parts concerned and skeptical. Leaving now wasn't a concept that thrilled him. I want to talk to you too.
Really?
Oh? Then we're on the same page. She made a little move along gesture with her hands, and it was settled. You waited until the two of you were alone before fixing her with an inquisitive look. Elizabeth folded her arms, looking you over. Did Moms tell you about your parents too? My birth parents also died. Elizabeth broke eye contact after that.
Sorry.
Sorry. Why did you want to talk to me? Elizabeth raised an eyebrow at the question as though the answer should be obvious. I was worried about you. I was the one who brought it up, but I made you deal with whatever was left when I was gone. Aw, she do care. She do care. She sighed, glancing upwards for a moment before settling on you once more. I wanted to ask you what happened without everyone breathing down our necks. Did I skip something there? No, okay, good. Yeah, I'm amazed you noticed that was unkind. You were quietly surprised by her admission. She stuck her nose up a little at that, but her smile was soft. All of this, it upset me. She slipped back into a scowl. I'm sorry, Luis. It's a pretty depressing topic. Yeah. You have to be born in the U.S. to become president. Oh, she... What? You had never heard of that dream of hers before. She noticed your bafflement and continued. I get I was never going to be president, but it just feels weird having stuff taken away, not even getting a chance at it. I don't like having to know that when I was born, I was going to have a completely different life. So different, I can't even think about what it'd look like in my head. I could have spoken another language, lived away from everything I've ever seen here, had someone else as my sibling. And then my parents died and I was adopted. And the life I got became a totally new thing forever. I can't go back to see what it was, even if I wanted to. A heaviness settled between you and the person who became your sister. You knew exactly how she felt. It was a confusing feeling to have lived one way for as long as you can remember, but not having it be what was originally yours. Elizabeth watched you seriously. She was trying to make sense of this to you and herself. I don't know why today was the day. Nothing came up to make me ask the question. It's just something I've had in my head for a while. That's a very accurate description of what it often feels like to ask those kinds of questions or to talk about difficult things like that. I think for most people, it's rarely a thing you plan, like broaching these kinds of serious topics to people, especially your parents if you're young. It's something that kind of just happens. I remember there was one day where I told my mom something very, very important that I'd been thinking about for months. And I kept thinking it was going to be some day where I'd be all dramatic and I'd tell my friend I was going to tell her something. But then instead it was a day on the bus on the way home from school where I just suddenly was like, I'm going to tell her today. And I did. It's kind of weird how that happens for such big things. They often seem to happen just without fanfare. You just sort of have a day where you know that it's that day. It just is. Sorry, I went up on a tangent there. When it was just me and Mom's in the living room, I kind of just said it finally, and there you go. She shifted from one foot to another, relaxing her stance just a bit. She also spoke more gently. Learning about them and what happened doesn't change how I feel about our family, Luis. She smirked, fixing you with sharp eyes. I'd already figured out a long time ago that Moms weren't our biological parents. That wasn't news. Ah, okay, so the I can say technically one of them could have been related to you. You kept listening to Elizabeth. Nothing about the family I was first born in would have made me decide that this wasn't my family anymore. If you had hoped you'd be free of my big sisterly status, don't think you're so lucky. She bumped her shoulder against yours playfully, her lips tilted at the corners.
You'll always be my little brother.
I hugged her, of course. It took a few seconds, but she gave you a quick squeeze in return. You'll always be my family, too. Chuckling, she seemed pleased with how the conversation had gone in the end. Ready to head back home? It's been a long day. He gave her a nod.
Come on.
Come on, you two, let's go. You walked home together in a comfortable silence. Ooh, pardon me. Something caught in my throat there. Blah. In a comfortable silence, down the well-worn street. The familiarity of it all felt nice. Whoop. There we go. When you stepped through the door, you found your moms quietly sitting together at the kitchen table. Their heads snapped up and they got to their feet to meet you, Ma giving you a careful smile. We're so glad to see you. I'm sorry for walking away before. It's all right, sweetheart. We're just happy to see you here again. Ma then came over and wrapped her arms around you and Elizabeth, giving you a tight hug. It didn't take long for Mom to join in, putting her arms around the both of you.
Love you.
We really couldn't have asked for better kiddos. We love you. More than we could ever say. Moms! You smiled at their comfort. I love you too. It was a nice moment and you enjoyed it for as long as you could. They both pulled back eventually and grinned at the two of you, and you knew then that you all had each other and you always would. Hey, I hope you're all right. Lee came up towards you, a soft smile plastered on her face. And are you okay, Elizabeth? Elizabeth rolled her eyes and huffed a breath, and you knew she wasn't used to showing her vulnerable side.
Fine.
I'm doing fine. Lee nodded, though you could tell she didn't quite believe her. Well now, since we're all here, how about we do something together as a family? That sounds like an excellent idea. We should have some fun before the night's over.
Totally.
I love the sound of that. Yeah, okay. I forgot Cove's still here. Whoops. This scene is so soft. It really is. I'm glad that you told me to pick this scene, Ultimate Pansexual. This was a good choice. This is very sweet. Why not? You hid the smile that threatened to tilt your lips, knowing that Elizabeth must have been in a good mood if she hadn't even teased Cove for being part of it. And no matter what she could have said about it, you wanted him to be there. The two of you had practically grown up together over the past 5 years. Who's got a suggestion? It should be something we can do here in the house, with everyone in the same room. You suddenly remembered the show you and Lee had been working on earlier. Maybe we can do our show? A show? This is the first time we're hearing of this. I'm intrigued.
Wonderful.
It'd be amazing if you could put on a show for us to watch. Oh yeah, I need to see what you've cooked up. That'd be cool. Cove. You smiled at Lee, who returned the gesture while bouncing on her heels in excitement. Take some seats while we get everything together. Your moms collected the chairs from around the dining table and set them in a row in the living room where there was enough space for the show. While you did that, you and Lee quickly gathered the supplies you needed and rehashed the plan one last time. You listened through the song you had chosen one more time. When the two of you returned to the living room, everyone was sitting and chatting amongst themselves while they waited. The group quieted down when you and Lee stood in front of them on your makeshift stage. Lee was buzzing quietly with excitement beside you. You felt nervous all of a sudden. No matter how small that audience was, it was still all eyes on you. The smaller the audience, the harder it is. Gah. Yeah, grab a blanket, dude.
Okay, so welcome to our show. We only came up with it today, but we promise it'll be good. Let's see. You stay quiet. Blah, 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 blah. No refunds. Laughter rippled through the mini audience. Then you nodded at Lee when you were ready to begin. Lee took a deep breath, waited the few beats it took to get into the song, and started singing. Your part of the song joined in a few moments later, and you smiled at each other as you sang together. When the performance was over, Lee took your hand in hers, and the two of you bowed deeply together. Everyone gave you a round of applause and cheered for an encore. When you straightened yourself up, you were happy to see that even Elizabeth was clapping for you. Bravo, bravo.
Good job.
You're so talented. Your family rose from their seats and came over to congratulate you more directly. You were beaming from ear to ear. Cove was the first one to approach, stepping up to you and Lee with a smile on his face.
It's nice.
Nice job. Thank you. You're a really great singer, Luis. It was cool. You blushed and said nothing. Cove chuckled and shook his head. Your parents gushed about how great everything was and thanked you for sharing it with them. Elizabeth was complimentary in her own way, although she did describe the show as cute, which you knew she meant as kind of kiddie. You laughed it off, however, and were just happy that everyone had a nice time. In that moment, you couldn't have been more pleased to be a part of the family you had. Aww. They're so cute. That one was really cute. Oh, geez. All right. Do you all want me to do one more, or should we end it for the day? I'm down to keep going if you'd like for one more. Or we could not. All up to y'all. I'll leave it in your hands. Wait for chat to catch up. And if you do want me to do another one, which one should I do? Because I can't pick. Was that the Bite of 87? Was it? I leave it in your capable hands, everyone. What would you like? Wait till next Saturday, do something now. Up to y'all. If we do another one, if we do, maybe we'll do... say maybe either wave or soiree, since I don't know what that is. Maybe you should do birthday. Alright. If you guys want me to do one more, I'll do birthday, and that'll be the last one for the stream tonight. Alright. I wonder whose birthday it is. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone brightly, and the breeze tugged lightly at the balloons strung around the park. You and Cove had just been dropped off at Miranda Eckert's birthday party, whomst ever that is. You didn't really know Miranda. Last year was the first time you had a class with her, and everyone at school knew her as quiet. The shy girl stuck to her own friend group like glue. I'm fine with next Saturday. I'll definitely be streaming again next Saturday. No worries there. My plan currently is to commit to streaming every Saturday for as long as I can. And I might throw in another stream here and there, since if I do want to try and get Twitch affiliate, I kind of have to. They have some pretty strict rules for how you get Twitch affiliate, but regardless, guaranteed every Saturday I will still be streaming. Same time. Anyways, it had been a surprise that she was having such a big party. You looked around the expensive park, a spacious recreation center in the next town over, and noticed a bouncy castle. Bouncy castle. Miranda had a bit of a reputation for not caring if she acted mature like other teens sometimes did. It made a certain amount of sense that her party would match that. You wanted to get to know Miranda better. Maybe at this party you would have a chance to make friends with her. You were excited at the thought. You hadn't had a choice in coming here today. Your moms insisted on it after you got the invitation, as did Cove's mom and dad. So both you and he were driven over to the next town with your presents in tow.
All the parents had been pretty firm about going to a birthday if you'd been invited. He wondered if it was an adult thing. You agreed it was best to attend. It was only polite to go to Miranda's party. Your moms were happy with your attitude as well. Cove made a small noise which caught your attention. He looked around, scanning the area. He fidgeted with his gift in hand.
So...
Any idea what we're supposed to do with these? I don't know, Cove. Maybe put them on that table with all the gifts literally right behind you. It's okay, Cove. You're cute, and that's all that matters. You looked at your own present and then towards the seating area. There was a table filled with snacks and drinks, supplies for various party games. What do you think of Miranda so far? I have not seen her. I fully, wholeheartedly agree with screw being mature, though. Just do whatever makes you happy. Maturity is for suckers. So she's winning me over in that part. Past all that, you spotted one table in the back and seemed to have a truckload of gifts. You pointed it out to Cove. Let's drop the presents off over there. She will be good. Cove nodded with a smile and turned to where you gestured. He saw it too. Cool. You and Cove began to walk over to the present table, flattening the well-trimmed grass beneath your feet. You walked past groups of people, classmates in semicircles, broken up into the usual friend groups, chatted away. You, or maybe Cove, received the occasional greeting or friendly nod. However, as you passed by even more people that you had never seen before, you became aware that there were more strangers here than not. It was more crowded than you expected. Miranda Eckert, the choir girl, was hosting the most populated birthday party you had been to in a long time. You looked at the new faces and thought you saw something of Miranda in them. Cousins, nieces, or nephews, maybe? Parties could be a big deal in her family. The both of you reached the table. You set your gift down in an empty space, brushing some confetti aside, and Cove placed his gently next to it. He looked at the present thoughtfully. Hey, what did you get her? Before you had a chance to answer, Cove opened his mouth again and tapped his gift. I found this sparkly backpack. I figured she could use it for school or a trip or something. Your moms had taken you out shopping the other day. You'd searched through the store and ultimately you picked out Luis has the brain cell, don't bully Cove. Somebody in this group has to have a brain cell, because Cove doesn't have it. Luis only has half a brain cell, though, if I'm being real. You can ask Alex that one. They will confirm. You picked out a stuffed animal, because that's what I would have wanted at that age. The wide eyes of the otter plush had called to you. You weren't sure what in its face made you think of Miranda, but it seemed appropriate. Your moms had agreed that it was a fine present, and Ma helped you wrap it. You described it to Cove briefly, and he had no objections.
Not bad.
Not a bad idea. He brushed his hands against the side of his pants. I really hope Miranda likes her gifts, but I think we both did good. With that, he gave you a sunny grin. You touched the gift one more time and then stepped away. Without the direction of needing to put stuff away, the two of you weren't sure what to do next. You felt a little awkward, and Cove shrunk in on himself as he looked around. There were more guests heading to the present table, so you turned away and wandered over to a nearby tree where you wouldn't be in the way. From there, you both inspected the area and planned the next step. You were glad that Cove had been invited too. At least you had his company in this unfamiliar place. You watched him, and he gave you a nervous grin. It reassured you a little, and you smiled back. What next? Luis dumb. Cove said no thoughts on the ocean. Yeah, between the two of them, they share one half brain cell. That's about it. Luis, well, in this world, Luis is head empty, only Cove. Cove be like, Ocean? Cove did not appreciate being put on the spot. He was just as unsure as you were. Birthday party stuff? It didn't seem to be time for cake, what with people still arriving. Nothing else seemed to be organizing yet either. He noticed that himself and tried again. We could find Miranda. That was an idea. It made sense to greet the birthday girl. Okay, we could say hello. Wish her happy birthday. Ask her what she wants people to do.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. With that point, it was decided. The Miranda hunt had begun. You wandered around. Anytime you saw someone with Miranda's hair color, you got a little closer, but more than once it turned out not to actually be her. Hey, look! Finally, he pointed out the real Miranda. She smiled slightly when you both approached, but ducked her head. She seemed a little overwhelmed with being the center of attention today. Hi, Cove. Hi, Luis. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm really glad you could come.
Aww. She cute. No thoughts, only Cove, but they're just friends, lol. Exactly. Thinking only of Cove 24/7 and how he wants to hold his hand and cuddle with him as heterosexual best friends. Exactly, you get it. My favorite girl is here. She's very cute. I do actually remember her now because I remember her from the casting call when they were casting for her. I wonder who got to play her. I should look at the credits later. You all stood awkwardly. Miranda did seem genuinely happy, but there was still a distance between you. A social distance. Bum bum. This is a great looking party. Thank you. Is there something we need to do, or should we just hang out?
Oh, well, you can talk to people if you want. There are games that are gonna start soon.
Aw. And the Bouse Hounds should open later if you feel like jumping. And then after that, it's cake and present time. We have ice cream, too. After that is when people will start going home. I hope that's okay with you guys.
Cove nodded. He seemed a little more confident about the situation now. Thanks for letting us know. You grinned at her and she nodded back. Miranda waited there and you became hyper-aware of the silence forming. You heard a shout for Randy and Miranda brightened up a total of 180. A total 180 with how stiff she had been with you. I can't read.
I gotta talk to some more people. Bye!
Oh, you tweeted the icons? Yes. Everyone, BRB, we all gotta retweet this now. Obviously, gonna retweet. Yes. I retweet both. So good. Man, you're all up here being like, oh, I hope my art is good. Probably gonna be bad. Blah, blah, blah. And then you're just sitting here with, like, absolute beautiful fucking works of art. Like, bruh. Who you trying to kid? You have so much goddamn talent. I will fight you. Personally to the death. You silly goose. You silly, silly goose. Alex, can I use the effort one? Up to you, Alex. You got answer. The birthday girl ran off to her friend, leaving you and Cove with at least a little more idea of what to expect. You both glanced at each other wordlessly. You felt a little disappointed. It was going to be hard to get to know Miranda better with how in demand she was probably going to be today. Hopefully you'd get to talk with her later. All that was left now was finding something to fill time until the activities began. You can tell I'm getting tired because I am screwing up all these words. Obviously, we're just gonna talk with Cove. Like, who are you kidding? Head empty, only Cove. Yes, please fight me. Do it now. Okay, well, get in here. Get in here and let's go. We'll fight.
We'll fight it out, Alex. Let's heckin' go. Live on stream. Live fight. You started talking about how you felt about this kind of birthday party and what you wanted to do for your next party. Cove made the occasional suggestion. The conversation became silly as you started joking about ridiculous party ideas. Cove wanted a moon party, and you wondered if anyone ever had tried to make a cake big enough to be the party location. And you wondered if anyone had ever tried to make a cake big enough to be the party location. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed over the crowd. The constant buzz of conversation dropped as one of the adults, maybe Miranda's dad, asked the kids to gather around because it was game time.
Huh.
I wonder what's gonna happen. You scanned the area to make a guess. You saw a picture of a donkey hung on a tree, a table with a lot of candy, and even more balloons. I guess we could be playing pin the tail on the donkey. I doubt it. Then what do you think that's about? You pointed to the poster of the tailless donkey. He shook his head. I've never seen anybody play that in real life. Really? Really? That was a pretty common party game when I was like a young child, Cove. I don't know what you're talking about. The adult announced that the children under 10 had the first turn on the bounce house. For everyone else, it was time to play pin the tail on the donkey. You had called it. Cove raised his eyebrows. He was surprised for sure. You were fine with the game. You didn't have anything against pin the tail on the donkey. It'd probably turn out okay. You casually stepped up to join the line. The donkey in question was a cartoony poster with big eyes that looked more like ping-pong balls. It was positioned a few feet above the ground on a tree trunk. The teen who arrived first was blindfolded and then spun around. He was nudged to the side and away from the other kids so he wouldn't stick anyone with the tail instead. Unfortunately for him, he placed the tail on the donkey's head like some kind of bizarre earring. He wouldn't be winning that far from the target. His next opponent did far better by landing on the donkey's back. The spectators clapped politely and the line moved up. More teens tried their hands at it. Some got closer than others, but no one had gotten it perfect yet. Soon it was Cove's turn. He was blindfolded and spun just like the others. At this point, it was a close match, and everyone was watching with bated breath. Cove approached the donkey and stuck the tail on without any hesitation. Cove stood back and removed his blindfold. Cheering when he saw how close he was, he turned his head over his shoulder and grinned at you. Your turn. You took your turn, of course. With the blindfold on, the bright park became utterly dark. You were spun around. The sounds around you seemed to get louder. At least you could tell the direction of the bounce house from the shrieks of the younger children. You stopped spinning and stepped forward, tail in hand. It was time to give it a stab. They do actually let me pick how good or bad I do. Ooh, it is still random, though. Okay. I'm going to place it... Well, I'm short, so I'm going to reach and place it up. You pressed into the target and stepped back. You took off your blindfold to check your results. People cheered from behind. You had indeed pinned the tail on the donkey, right where donkeys preferred their tails to be. You beamed at your accomplishment and felt a surge of pride. It was perfect. You looked back at the crowd behind you and your eyes met Cove's. He was impressed. You even got a small thumbs up. A few more kids took their turn. One girl managed to somehow pin the tail on the opposite side of the tree. You were pretty sure it had been on purpose. With the line empty, the game was finally over. The adults running things started to inspect the donkey. At this point, the sign was more tails than donkey. However, you were the undeniable winner. No one could get closer than perfect. After your name was announced, everyone cheered and clapped for you once more. You came up to the front and the man gave you a handful of candy as a prize for the victory. Thank you. As you shoved the candy into your pockets, Cove walked up to you. Congrats on the win. You were humble about it. I'm not amazing. It was probably luck. Maybe you'll win next time.
Sure.
Uh-huh. You got really close. He shook his head with a rueful smile. Thanks, Luis, but it's alright. That was your win. You offered to share the candy with Cove, of course. Do you want some? His sparkling eyes told you yes. You held out a lollipop and Cove accepted it carefully. It was a mystery flavor, so you had no idea if he'd like it or not. He unwrapped the treat, and it was a swirl of pale blue and translucent green. Cove gave it a tiny lick. What's it taste like? Your victory.
And berries, I think. You both laughed at that, and you gave him more candies. An older team walked up, tall enough to tower over you and Cove. You felt a little intimidated by this stern-faced teenager until she started to speak. Her voice was low, but friendlier than her tough frown would suggest. Hi, I'm handing out party favors. Do you want one? She showed you party hats. She insisted they were the key to a true partying mood. She had two options, either a colorful headband with two tiny party hats arranged almost like ears, or a tiara with a star on it. They were both very festive.
It's okay.
No thanks. You knew the teen hadn't actually glared at him. Her default facial expression just seemed grim. I don't want one. You waved the offer off with a hand. Then you let her go. Both of you had made your decisions, and that was it. The unknown teenager nodded approvingly at you both and went to pass out hats to more people. After that, the people in charge quickly set up the next game. Teenagers milled about until they were told to find partners. You tried to listen to the rules, straining your ears to listen to the adult announcing what you were supposed to do. It was a simple game. One person in a pair would throw candy while the other had to catch it in their mouth. If they caught it, the pair would move on to the next round, where everyone would take a step back and the former catcher would become the thrower. The game would continue, the players getting further and further, until one set of partners were the only ones left standing, or everyone lost in a round. About half of the guests had already found partners. They moved fast. You noticed Cove had his eyes on you. Could we be partners? Of course, Cove! What, did you think I was gonna go pick somebody else? Neither of you were all that familiar with anyone else here. It'd be the safe choice to pair up. Obviously. Let's do it, partner. Cool. He beamed, and you started wondering about your respective candy catching capabilities. Two rows of players facing each other formed. Cove tilted his head towards them, and you started to head over. You both lined up in front of each other. It took a while to pass out the candy. You were handed a small bag of gummies that smelled strongly fruity. You noticed Cove took it upon himself to do a taste test of a red one across from you. They're not bad. What'd it taste like? Raspberry. Or cherry. It's red, so... Strawberry? Maybe? Pomegranate? It was a mystery. Maybe you'd get a red one later. And then it was time to begin. Cove's row was set to throw first. He smiled nervously, his eyes wide with seriousness. You grinned, and Cove's smile looked more genuine and less filled with tenseness. The game was on. The adult in charge shouted for the throwers to go. You and Cove were only a couple feet away from each other. With Cove's careful toss, you caught the candy easily. Like you, most of the other player moved on to the next round. There were few gaps in the rows as everyone took a step back. This round was harder, with pairs farther apart, but not overly so. It could be done if both partners tried. You made sure it missed. You had fun with it, but still tried. You grabbed a candy and wanted to do a trick shot. Cove must have noticed something in your expression because he raised an eyebrow. You threw the blue candy from hand to hand, then high in the air. Very quickly as it was coming down, you slapped it towards Cove. He jerked to the side to catch it. Despite his worry, your shot had landed true. Cove laughed with amazement at your toss, or the fact that he had caught it, or possibly both. From his face, you knew he was at least excited to get to the next round. The next round began, and you took another step back. Cove was even further away now, but he made no case sign. He was in this to win it. Around you, the once packed rows of players had thinned out some. You wondered how many rounds everyone had left in them. Cove swung his arm and made eye contact with you. You nodded, and the green candy flew towards you. You tried your best to catch it. You followed the arc of the candy and opened your mouth wide. It had a slight spin on it, so you tilted your head to the left to compensate. You bit down on the candy, grinning with your victorious catch. It tasted sweet and vaguely like a Slurpee. Yeah, Luis! Cove was thrilled. He was entirely invested in the game at this point. You and Cove were still in the game. You knew this was the final round. Only a few other pairs were still left. Cove was determined to win. You could see it in the clench of his jaw, the careful way he watched you. You were charmed by his attitude. You liked having a partner who was so into the game. His determination sparked something in you. Admiration? An answering desire to win? You weren't sure. Cove gave you a firm grin and you prepared to throw. Your fingers grabbed an orange gummy from the bag. It felt solid in your grasp, even if your hand was starting to get sticky from touching all the sugary sweets. Cove leaned his face towards you and bent his knees, ready to catch. The time came. You looked at the candy and then Cove. You tried your best. The candy flew like a missile straight towards him. He positioned himself effortlessly for it. Cove caught the candy just like that. A wide grin spread on his face as he victoriously chomped down on the candy. Yes! Along with the cheer, he jumped up in excitement and pumped one arm. You look to your left and then to your right. You see the few remaining pairs walking away, commiserating over their losses. With some shock, you realized that you and Cove were the only ones who made it that round. You won. You watched the moment Cove clicked into the same realization. His face brightened like sunshine and he jogged over to close the distance between you. You stepped closer to meet him halfway. Of course we're gonna hug him. Let's be real. We jumped into a hug. His eyes went big when he realized you were going for a hug. He smiled and caught you, hugging you back tightly. You'd won this together. He giddily stomped his feet in place in front of you as though he couldn't contain his energy. We did it! Nice catch! Nice throw! The game runner strolled over and merrily gave you both a bunch more candy on top of letting you keep the gummy bags. It was quite the collection. Cove laughed over just how much candy you both had acquired. Between this game and Pin the Tail on the Donkey, you were swimming in sugar now. With the candy toss over, you were going to need something else to do. You didn't have to wait long. You heard someone in the crowd shout that the bounce house was officially open for the older kids. You and Cove shared a look. Cove smiled and you knew he wanted in. You both ran over to the bouncy castle and kicked your shoes off. You crawled into the inflated castle with Cove hot on your heels. There were a couple other teens already inside. You started to get a feel for bouncing. Cove hopped from the middle to the side and back. Just after you landed from a particularly high jump, someone else snuck in. It was the birthday girl herself. Hi, Miranda. Hi, birthday girl. Miranda looked happy. She waved both her hands at you with a megawatt grin. I hope you're having fun. She hopped around with her hands in front of her like a kangaroo. It was a surprisingly effective way to clear distance in the bounce house. She then jumped high, kicking both her legs out to the side and touched the tip of her toes with her fingers. Wow! Miranda hadn't run out of tricks yet. She jumped a couple more times, gaining height before doing a backflip and tucking into a ball. She managed to land on her feet, but didn't stick the landing. She tumbled back and fell on her butt. Cove clapped and Miranda inclined her head almost like a bow. She was back to jumping in no time. You're so good at this. She bounced close enough to the two of you to talk without shouting across the way. Cove's bouncing slowed down to accommodate their conversation.
My family gets these every year. And we have a trampoline in the backyard.
That's really cool. Miranda giggled a bit and her eyes sparkled. Hey, I can launch someone if you want. If I jump in front of you, then your bounce will go higher. Launch me. Sure. Miranda leaped over to you, her excitement clear on her face. Cove watched with interest. She explained more clearly how this was supposed to work. You got ready to bounce on her cue. 3, 2, 1. The moment she came down, you jumped high. The force of her, just as she had said, helped launch you up. The air rushed past your face, and then you were coming back down. Your feet hit the bounce house hard enough to help launch Miranda up a little as well. She giggled some more, and the two of you took turns bouncing each other up. Cove clapped or offered suggestions, but it was becoming clear that he wanted to turn too. Miranda invited him to join and tried to synchronize your bounces to launch Cove up super high. The first attempt resulted in everyone crashing down in a pile of laughs. By the 5th attempt, Cove managed to catch some serious airtime. Woo! You all had fun bouncing around. You twirled, Miranda did stunts, Cove futilely tried to touch the highest tip in the castle's ceiling. You and Cove chatted to Miranda more than you ever had at school. She truly was the queen of this bouncy castle. Whenever someone did something cool, everyone would cheer. If you fell, the others would help you up. God, I wish teenagers were this supportive. Eventually, more people wanted to take turn in the bounce house, so you and Cove left. As you slipped on your shoes, you saw Miranda getting drawn into conversation with a group of adults. She'd be talking with them for a while. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. You went to the party table and grabbed some ice water. Cove handed you a party noisemaker he'd picked up from the same table. He blew on his and made a funny sound when it unrolled. Cove downed his drink in a couple gulps. He'd gotten pretty into bouncing after all. Oh my god, I didn't realize it was in his mouth for a second. I thought that was his mouth, and I was like, what is that? I see now. You were still sipping on your water when Cove blew on his noisemaker again. Then again. And again. It was almost a tune. You didn't recognize any particular melody, but a noisemaker also isn't an instrument. The noise cut through the hum of the other party guests, loud and noticeable. You asked Cove to stop. You blew your noisemaker back at Cove. You blew hard enough to unfurl the paper completely straight. It jutted towards Cove, almost tapping his chin. Cove wasn't going to let that stand. He retaliated and blew his back at you. It nearly touched your nose. It was a game now. Both of you tried to land a light hit on the other. Oh, he blushing. Cove managed to get your chin while you scored right in between his eyes.
Oh, great. You people again.
Oh, boy. Oh, no, I wasn't expecting that. I legit wasn't expecting to hear my own voice, so I was like, wait, what? Whoops. Someone vaguely familiar shouted, and you snapped your head to the side. Cove's noisemaker dropped from his mouth. The speaker stepped up, and there was no doubt. It was Jeremy, that mean boy you met at the start of summer. Oh, hey, it's the bowl cut kid. Jeremy's scowl told you everything about what he thought of that moniker. Why are you here? Cove's tone was defensive. You watched Jeremy's face turn slack as if Cove's question was the idiocy above all idiocies. God, I love how small he is compared to Cove. He really is just like a tiny gremlin. Looks like I popped in at a good moment. Yes, Meg. Yes, you did. Literally right as Jeremy pops in.
Didn't I already explain this?
He hadn't, so both you and Cove exchanged a look.
Do you have memory loss, or are you really that stupid? Seriously. I didn't walk here. My parents brought me. Apparently, I couldn't just stay inside like I wanted. No, they insisted that I get out and enjoy the day and have fun on vacation. Blah, blah, blah.
Little pee-pee piss boy, why is he so little? Time to put her feet out on the new green-haired footstool. Exactly. He said enjoy the day and have fun on vacation like some people would say scrub the entire bathroom or listen to an off-key singer for 10 hours.
They found a park because I hate the beach. Too bad I also hate parks. Ugh, it's dirty here. They don't know anything. Oh, and then they saw this stupid party and decided to bother some adults by asking them what was going on. They think maybe we could be included. It's moronic. Get it now? That's how my parents are. Annoying and embarrassing. Why would anybody want strangers at their birthday? Why can't they ever just leave things alone?
I've had enough of this dude. He huffed loudly and his eyes shot daggers at some grown-ups that presumably were his parents. We're not gonna try and be nice to this boy. We know he doesn't want you to be nice. It's best to just annoy him back. And all you can do is complain about it. Sucks to be you.
Shut up!
I can't even say it without laughing. Jeremy's eyes slipped away from you to take in the rest of the park for a bit. It was a little awkward. It was possible he didn't know what to do, but then he spoke again.
So dumb. How can people really go around in those embarrassing party hats? Do they think it's fun or something? How could a human being be so dumb?
Jeremy glanced at you and Cove, gesturing to the lack of party hats on your head.
Guess that's one brain point for both of you.
Hey!
Hey, Miranda can have whatever kind of party she likes. There's nothing wrong with that. Jeremy looked up at Cove with an unimpressed face. He was going to be mean.
You know, those hats could only make sense on a person like you. What else would go with those terrible eyebrows?
Cove's eyebrows furrowed and he twisted his body to the side. He gave a harshly mumbled reply.
Why do you always talk about my eyebrows? 'Cause they're always stupid.
Even if you think that, why do you need to say it every time we meet?
Fine.
Fine, I'll say something else then.
A moment passed as Jeremy inspected Cove. You shared a look with Cove, having no idea what to expect next other than more unpleasantness.
How about that scar on your arm? Let me guess, you were doing something stupid.
Cove gasped and grabbed his wrist instinctively. He looked angry, but his eyes started to water. Oh, Cove, no! Half a brain cell has become a brain cell and a half. I can't believe it's a Christmas miracle. Yeah, Jeremy, wow, you're giving us, like, way too much credit here. The fact that he hates everything is hilarious. I love when he hates me. Right? I just want to be so amused by Jeremy. Like, aw, that's cute how angry you are. You punched Jeremy in the face. I'm really tempted to just deck him. Because I just want to see how he'd react. Okay, my canon answer is going to be something else, but I want to see what happens if you punch him in the face. You landed a solid punch to his nose. He shrieked and backed away, clutching his face. He glared furiously at you.
You really are crazy.
I just want to see what happens. I just want to be aggressively nice in condescending, mocking way. Less Bay and more JB, though. Just low-key bully him and let it become genuine kindness if he ever becomes a Exactly. I mean, that's what I would do in this situation, as I would just be like, aw, you're so cute. I would just aggressively kindness him to death. Luis has no brain cell. He's bleeding and he's still trying to diss. Absolutely he is. He's a little shit. You laughed at his reaction. People were starting to watch what was going down. Your argument wasn't exactly quiet at this point. Why don't you just leave us alone if we're so awful? Jeremy glared even more and huffed.
Dumbasses. Talking to you is pointless. Dumbasses.
Okay. I'm not actually gonna punch. I can't help it. I wanted to see what he would do, but I'm gonna noisemaker the fuck out of this kid.
You're both...
Dude!
You're...
Dude! Okay, this is even better, actually. Never mind. Dude! That's good. It didn't take long for him to piece together that you weren't gonna let him speak without interruption.
Stupid. How stupid?
He shut his mouth, though, and finally stopped talking. You laughed at his reaction. Yes, why don't you leave us alone if we're so awful? Dumbasses. He stalked off like the last time you saw him, muttering under his breath. You blew your noisemaker after him with a final long doot. Cove sighed in relief after Jeremy was gone. He relaxed, but only for a moment. He noticed just how much attention you'd drawn from the other guests. Luckily, it hadn't gone on long enough to get a real crowd. A concerned adult in a blue button-up shirt approached you and asked who that was and if everyone was alright.
It's okay.
I'm fine. Cove looked at you cautiously, asking just as much as the adult if you were okay. Everything's fine now, you don't have to worry about us. The concerned adult lingered for a few seconds, but nodded and left you alone. The Jeremy fiasco was finally over. He called us dumbasses. Wow, we got a badass over here. Damn, I feel so burned by these harsh words you're slinging, Jeremy. Jeremy thinks he's a king. Little does he know he's the court jester. Oh, Jeremy. You just gotta mellow out. That really is the best way to deal with him, though, is just be aggressively nice to him. Because you know he hates it more than anything, which is great. Explains why it's fun to bully him. Cove rubbed his eyes, clearly ready to put all that nonsense behind him. Then he started laughing. It was a surprised laugh, breaking out of his chest without any actual joy. It was nervous and disbelieving, and all the complex emotions brought about by one meeting with Jeremy. I can't believe it. He spoke in fits and starts. The look on his face after you started with the... It was hilarious. How can Jeremy be like that? He shouted at us. He barely knows us, and it was a birthday party for somebody he's never met. You agreed to it. Jeremy is totally nuts. Oh, absolutely. Of course he is. You agreed. Jeremy is totally nuts. I don't understand him at all. Cove seemed to think about his next words carefully before he spoke. I don't think that it matters what we do around him. Jeremy's just gonna yell no matter what. We shouldn't worry about it. Do you want to tell your moms? About Jeremy, I mean. He always picks a fight. Maybe they'd know how to handle someone like him? Thanks for asking. You wanted to keep this between you and Cove. But let's not. I don't think it'd help.
Alright.
Okay. Finally, you bent over to pick up the noisemaker that Cove dropped when Jeremy appeared. It might be too dirty to use now, but you didn't want to leave it there. He accepted it softly when you offered the little favor back to him. Thanks, Luis. I like how we can be there for each other. It makes me feel better about that kind of stuff when it happens. Yeah. Cove suggested that you should find a seat at one of the tables. It was almost cake time, and he wanted to be prepared. It was a good reminder that the party wasn't over yet. There's a free table there. Let's get ready for some cake. You and Cove tried to settle down after the last event. You took seats across from one another at one of the park tables. There were a few attempts to chat, but for the most part you simply watched the adults run around and set up the cake cutting. There was a minor panic when who you assume was Miranda's dad apparently forgot the lighter for the candles. He and another man went through and started asking the other adults for matches or lighters. They weren't having any luck until the grim-faced teenager who had been passing out party hats pulled a little green lighter out of the ice cream cooler. Why the lighter was put in the cooler remains a mystery, but with party hat girls find, it was time to get things going again. Miranda sat at the head of the longest table. A large chocolate cake was set in front of her. She lit all 14 candles with the cooler lighter with a big smile. They let her light them? I know she's 14, but I've never been allowed to light candles, which is good, because every time I've tried using a lighter or matches, I've almost burned myself. Donning your tinfoil hat, but I legit wonder if the grim-faced teenager might be Pran. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was established that she is a girl, so I don't think so. Maybe, though. The adults started singing Happy Birthday, and the rest of the guests joined in. At the end of the song, Miranda blew out the candles with a dedicated huff. She closed her eyes, and you saw her silently mouth something. Maybe it was a birthday wish. Miranda cut her own slice, then one of the grown-ups took over cutting the cake. Trans boy Pran. I'd be here for it. I know a lot of people already headcanon Jeremy as trans. Which is cute, given who voices him. Another adult passed around plates of cake slices with a scoop of vanilla ice cream to the guests. Eventually, the cake got around to you and Cove. Cove was pleased with the treat in general. The cake looked rich and moist. It smelled quite chocolatey. I wanted both of them, of course. You took a bite of ice cream. Oh. Pardon me. Goodness gracious. The vanilla wasn't bad, but it was a little bland. The chocolate cake, however, was a rich flavor. Cove then took his fork and started mashing up some of his cake. Oh my god, he's one of those fucking kids. Cove, you're a weirdo. When the cake started resembling a pile of crumbly chunks, he started mixing it into the ice cream. The melted part of the ice cream made a kind of chocolate cake soup. A bite of ice cream, your poor teeth. Yeah, oof, no. You raised your eyebrow because he's a weirdo. You were puzzled at what he was doing. Cove paid no mind. Vanilla ice cream is not good by itself. And I'm gonna eat it with the cake either way, so why not put them together now? Things like ice cream cakes exist. Putting stuff together is normal. Cove contentedly chowed down on his concoction. One advantage to his mix is that the ice cream seemed to catch most of the crumbs that would usually fall from eating a cake. Unlike some of the kids around him, Cove's shirt remained clean. Okay, I guess you're just calling me out for how I always get cake on myself when I eat it. I get it. Fine. Whatever. It's fine. Just call me out. It's alright. Whatever. You started eating your dessert in earnest. You enjoyed yourself plenty. Miranda then started to open her gifts. She systematically attacked the mountain of presents like a pro. She checked any cards and read them loudly before opening a gift. She smiled at every present, including the ones you and Cove got her. You were glad the presents were accepted. It took time, but eventually Miranda got through all the gifts. She was very sweet and polite throughout it all. The party went until the sun began to set. By that point, most of everything had settled down and people had begun to leave. Any of the guests whose parents had stayed for the party were already gone, except for Miranda's family. Only a few kids still waiting for their parents to come and get them remained, you and Cove included. Miranda's family were cleaning up, and as a guest, neither you nor Cove were supposed to help with that. Instead, you both had decided to take it easy in the bouncy castle. It was somewhere out of the way where you could casually wait for your ride. Miranda had also elected to hang out with you. You weren't even bouncing anymore. Cove laid on his side with his back to a wall, and Miranda sat across from him with her legs stretched out. You also made yourself comfortable. It was nice and warm in the little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak openly here.
Thanks for coming.
She looked down, but continued shyly.
It's been really cool to get to hang out with you a little bit.
Thanks for letting me come. I didn't think I'd be invited. Thanks for me too, Miranda. Miranda just smiled a little more. So, did you notice anything happening earlier? With some people you don't know showing up? She had to think about this question a little. It was apparent that she didn't have an encounter with Jeremy since there was no instant recognition.
I heard about something. Some other parents were talking to my parents when their kid came and forced them to leave the park.
She tilted her head to the side, finding it weird, but also not important.
Then everyone had cake and ice cream.
Heresy. Vanilla ice cream is second only to mint chocolate chip. I gotta admit, they're dissing vanilla ice cream pretty hard. Like, that vanilla ice cream's not that bad. I mean, by itself, it's not that interesting, but you can put it with everything else and it tastes so good. Cove smiled uncomfortably. That's good. He was clearly worried that the Jeremy confrontation could have gotten to her. Luckily, it didn't seem that anyone had overheard or passed along Jeremy's cruel words. Cove rolled over on his back and sighed contentedly. Miranda seemed confused, but wasn't going to push. You laid back and closed your eyes to rest. The air-filled floor was comfy, and when you listened, you could feel the vibrations of the blower keeping this bounce house up. The silence stretched between everyone, and you opened your eyes to take a peek at the others. Cove was still relaxing, but Miranda was looking between you two, looking confused. You smiled to yourself and closed your eyes once more. You spent the rest of the time content and dozing until it was time to go home. At the end of the day, you thought it had been quite the party. How lovely. We got to see the boy one more time. Got to just have a whole whack of a time. It was great. Someone at GB Patch hates vanilla ice cream. They have beef with it. No, don't put beef with vanilla ice cream. That's a terrible idea. I'm just kidding. Well, with that, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, so I think that's a fair time to end it for the day. Thank you all so much for coming, and thank you to everyone else who came earlier in the stream. This was so much fun. I had a great time. With that in mind, as always, I will be streaming again next Saturday, same time, 11 p.m. Central Time. I might stream at some other point in the week. Hard to say, but guaranteed I'll be on Saturday. Also, like I said, I'm going to try and make a VOD channel on YouTube for these, since I know Twitch deletes them, but I have been recording them, so
If I make that, I will put that on my Twitter and I'll let you all know. But yeah, it was super great. I hope you all had as good of a time as I did. And you'll be back to bully me again next week. Good. Yeah. Stay safe. Have a good evening or morning or whatever it is wherever you are. Yeah. Guess I'll catch you next time. Bye.